Chris Helali, who is the International Secretary of Party of Communists USA, coming from Vermont.
Assalamu alaikum, greetings everyone. It's a tremendous honor and pleasure to be here with you all, and I want to extend our deepest thanks, our warmest greetings, and our salute to the comrades of Workers' World, to the First Secretary, Comrade Larry Holmes, and to everyone here who has made this possible. And of course, we are on sacred ground. We're on, thinking back to growing up in a family, a Muslim family, and thinking about, of course, Hajj Malik, of course, of Malcolm X. And to be in this room here is a deeply spiritual, especially for us Shia who have in Iran and throughout the world have an understanding of martyrdom, an understanding of those who have been killed, and the slogan that every day is Ashura, everywhere is Karbala, thinking about Imam Hussein. So thinking also about the martyrdom here. I want to, please. I don't think my words will do as much justice as the words of Palestinians themselves. And of course, combining the Palestinian Resistance and this centenary celebration of Lenin, I could think of only the poet Mahmoud Darwish, who is considered the national poet of Palestine and was himself awarded the Lenin Prize, which he valued above all else in the 1980s by the Soviet Union. And so I will read from his poem because I think that it will center us here today. Write down, I am an Arab. My ID card number is 50,000. My children 8, and the 9th is coming after the summer. Are you angry? Write down, I am an Arab. I work with my toiling comrades in a quarry. My children are 8, and out of the rocks I draw their bread, clothing, and writing paper. I do not beg for charity at your door, nor do I grovel at your doorstep tiles. Does that anger you? Write down, I am an Arab, a name without a title, patient in a country where everything lives on flared-up anger. My roots took firm hold before the birth of time, before the beginning of the ages, before the cypress and olives, before the growth of pastures. My father, of the people of the plow, not of noble masters. My grandfather, a peasant, of no prominent lineage, taught me pride of self before reading of books. My house is a watchman's hut of sticks and reed. Does my status satisfy you? I am a name without a title. Write down, I am an Arab, hair coal black, eyes brown. My distinguishing feature, on my head a kufiya topped by the igal, and my palms rough as stone, scratch anyone who touches them. My address, an unarmed village, forgotten, whose streets are nameless, and all its men are in the field and quarry. Are you angry? Write down, I am an Arab, robbed of my ancestors' vineyards and of the land cultivated by me and all my children. Nothing is left for us and my grandchildren except these rocks. Will your government take them too, as reported? Therefore, right at the top of page 1, I do not hate people, I do not assault anyone, but if I get hungry, I eat the flesh of my usurper. Beware, beware of my hunger and of my anger. Celebrating 100 years since the passing of Comrade Vladimir Lenin is an important milestone. It's an opportunity for us to regroup, to rethink, to criticize and self-criticize, and to rebuild and keep the struggle going. And so after a century under the banner of Lenin, I believe that the next century will be under that banner. And that banner is not only the symbol of Palestine, it is the symbol of all oppressed people. You see it everywhere throughout the world. What we are witnessing today, this genocide, is not in vain. This genocide, this blood spilt by innocent civilians, by Palestinians in their tens of thousands, will be the beginning of something new, will lead to something new. I believe it. Millions believe it. You believe it. And that's what counts. That's what drives us. That's why we are not simply wrapped up in our communities, in our neighborhoods, but we have an internationalist focus. We know that our liberation is tied to the liberation of all people around the world. My time is limited, and I want to emphasize these past decades, Workers' World Party has done something that very few could do or did do in the United States. They stood when it was inconvenient, when it was not in vogue, when it was brutally repressed and spurned by many on the so-called left. They stood by all oppressed people. And we honor that legacy. We honor the legacy of your comrades standing not only in solidarity with the Palestinians, but in solidarity with the DPRK, in solidarity with Zimbabwe, in solidarity with Cuba, with Venezuela. All of these struggles around the world, struggling for peace at the time of the Iraq War, where I became, as a red diaper baby, highly politicized and involved in the anti-war movement in high school, as the United States drove this military into war in Iraq, in an unjust and illegal war that killed almost, if not more than 1 million people. We remember that, and I want to emphasize today that as we struggle with workers, as we organize, as I do as a high school teacher, and I serve on the executive of the NEA in New Hampshire, I struggle with my students daily to open their minds and to open their hearts to other people, to hear other perspectives, to learn about the blood spilt here, because the blood spilt in Palestine centuries ago was the blood spilt by indigenous people here, struggling against the conquistadors. And before that, it was the struggle against the Crusaders who came in the first phase back to Palestine to take the land away from the people who were there. We must emphasize the importance of building an international movement, an international anti-imperialist, anti-fascist, anti-capitalist movement, as the First Secretary rightly pointed out. We are prepared to join you in that effort. We are prepared to work with all of the parties and governments around the world who struggle against imperialism, who struggle against colonialism. So let us say together, down with imperialism, colonialism, and Zionism. Free, free, Palestine. Free, free, Palestine. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thank you, comrades.